day to you. Welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jedel Kabir. It's a pleasure to have you joining us today for this conversation. A conversation we hope will help our leaders in making better policy decisions and informed political moves. Our conversation for today with Prof. Manyora is all about should courts interfere with political matters. Prof, how are you today? We're looking at Senior Counsel Paul Mwite together with his team appealing to the courts. The High Court is going to make a determination tomorrow whether Martha Koome, our Chief Justice, will create a three-bench to come and look at this issue of Gachagua. Says, look, there are a lot of issues from public participation to whether he has committed gross violation to the Constitution. It has to be determined. Do you think this is the right way?
Yes and no. No. Because impeachment is a political process. And courts are advised as much as possible to keep off impeachment. Political processes. And politicians have bad manners. Like they say, if you wrestle with a pig, you'll get dirty. So when courts allow themselves to be dragged into the life of politicians with their bad manners, courts can come out looking very ugly. So, to that extent, no, they shouldn't. But here we are. The impeachment of a deputy president raises a lot of questions, some of which, in fact, have not been addressed by the Constitution. So, Kenya ought to be at a point now when they are doing constitutional, legal, political soul searching. We need very serious reflection, a very serious examination of the issues that the country is going through now. Because this is not a small matter. This is a matter that can even collapse the country. This is a matter of clarity is required. And a lot of the issues that are being raised seem not to have been anticipated by the Constitution or the Constitution makers. I want to believe, and this is my submission, the people who came up with the Constitution, when they got to this point of impeachment, they didn't give it the attention it required. The assumption here was that people know this is not something to play around with. That's why they didn't even bother. If in their mind, the possibility that this thing could be used to remove a president or a deputy president, if it occupied their mind when they were doing the constitution making, they would have addressed issues they have not addressed.
Such as?
For that reason.
Which issues specifically? Because you look
even
at...
a simple issue like Article 1 talks about the people and they donate power. The highest donation is to the executive, at the highest level. Small to other small people, but the highest to the presidency. It is now possible for that power of delegation to be taken and usurped by parliament. I can demonstrate. Let's use really names, really people. William Samoei Ruto is the president of Kenya. His deputy is Rigathi Gachagua. Why do you have a deputy as a running mate whom you can't fire? The people of Kenya have a constitution that provides for automatic accession to power in the event of vacancy in the presidency. The previous constitution, the vice president held that office for 90 days, within which time an election is held, to return the power of electing the president to the people within 90 days. Now, when we left that, we said, we don't want to go into an election. An election has a lot of issues. Forget about even the cost. Political fires can be lit during an election. Let's avoid that. Let's have somebody automatically succeeding the president in the event of a vacancy. And that's why we demanded two things. One, we want to know that person. In the event something happened to you, tell us who will take over. Secondly, we demand that you have no power to sack him. Now, the constitution now forgets that and gives parliament the power to remove the deputy president or the president. Yeah? Let's go on now.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Ruto now. So Ruto now is without a deputy if Gachagua goes. Now, who now elects Gachagua's replacement? Is it the people?
Ruto appoints, parliament approves.
Yes, not the people. So the people now have been sidelined in the election in the constitution of the presidency. Because now it's parliament filling Gachagua's slot. Let's make it even sweeter. So that you know, either these people didn't think hard or they knew nobody can play with impeachment. So Ruto now appoints, who is likely to be appointed here?
Kithure Kindiki.
Kithure Kindiki, Anne Waiguru, Mwangi Kiunjuri, Musalia Mudavadi, Gladys Wanga. Those are the people who are being mentioned. So let's take one of them, Kithure Kindiki. So Kithure Kindiki then becomes president, then deputy president. Then, because impeachment has become so easy now, people get excited. Raila has lost AU. His people are no longer as excited. You see, they are the ones who are prosecuting this case more than even the original people.
Raila's guys.
They were crying louder than the bereaved.
Yeah.
So they get annoyed because Raila has not gotten
AU.
And the people also begin to discover that they were given little money, other people had been given big money. So you have a crowd of MPs who are not happy with Ruto now. So they impeach him. Because you have made impeachment so easy. The bar has been lowered so much that impeaching a president is not an issue now. So they impeach Ruto. Who becomes president?
Kithure Kindiki, the one who has been appointed.
Is he anywhere in the configuration of the people of Kenya? Who has given the people of Kenya a president now in the name of Kithure Kindiki? Parliament. What does Kithure Kindiki do now, according to the constitution?
Appoints a deputy.
Appoints a deputy.
So we have a presidency.
Yeah. Now we have a complete presidency of people not put there by the people of this country. Let's make it even worse. So Kithure Kindiki is again impeached because it has become very easy. Because he has become president and is running amok, even in Mount Kenya, people are not happy with him, including Mount Kenya East. The Meru people are saying, this is the Raka man is playing with us. So they gang up with others. Kindiki is removed. His deputy becomes president. Now, the circle is complete. The people of Kenya are nowhere near the selection or whatever election or the decision as to who is going to be holding the executive power of this country. Do you see that is not possible? That is not what the framers of the constitution, if they had brains, why do you think they didn't think about that? Simple. And I'm asking Senate to think about this. Impeachment anywhere in the world is not a simple matter. Not as simple as we have made it recently in the Kenya through the National Assembly. America, I think, has impeached only one judge successful to leave office since they started this business. India, with many years of democracy and I think 2 or so judges. I want Senate to go through history books and check on the internet. Where has impeachment been used? Which president has been impeached? There was this guy, Nixon. He resigned. What do you call him? Clinton. Was impeached by Congress. Was he removed from office by Senate? No.
Even Trump.
Was he removed by...
No.
It is not a small matter. And that's why the framers of the Constitution didn't even bother to deal with it, because they knew this is a last resort thing, because they can break us, they can break the country. But now our MPs are excited like small children playing around with fire.
You know, it's okay. I usually say it's okay to be excited, but is there a line that you should look at and say, let's be excited about these bills, but on this one...
This is not a joke. This is not a joke. Let Senate use, they have research department. I'm asking people like Omogeni, people I know who are serious lawyers. Let them use their research department, their law firms, and in Senate. Let them have a good picture of impeachment in the world, in the modern world. And find out where has impeachment successfully removed people from office. Is when Maraga nullified Uhuru's election, it was not a small matter. It wasn't a small matter. Because that was the first fully fledged presidency that was being removed from by an impeachment. Others are Austria, those are ceremonial, and another one is a small country of about 400,000 people, 500. This was the first major, or the second, I think the first major nullification of a presidential election. These are not small matters.
But when
to remove a deputy president or a president through impeachment is not a matter you deal with in a juvenile manner.
Where is the threshold?
Yeah.
Where is the threshold of impeachment? Because I think what previous conversation we were talking about misdemeanors. Your favorite line, I believe,
Yes.
Caesar's wife should be beyond reproach.
Yes.
Where should the threshold be so that we say this offense is not impeachable, but it is still an offense, bro?
You know, this is a very difficult situation. When you are dealing with the presidency of a country, and you are not a parliamentary system. You know, these things are done in a parliamentary system where a prime minister comes, goes. Nothing shakes. But a presidential system, because if we have made a mistake and elected the wrong people, we have to be very careful when we remove them. This now is forcing Kenyans back to the drawing board. One, the Kenyan public must now know that they ought to be very careful as to who they elect as president. They have never known. They have never known. Now they should see. And number two, the judiciary must now know there is so much to interrogate. Not just in the process of impeachment, but the entire constitution in matters of this nature that may lead the country into a lot of trouble. So to summarize, I see the role of the judiciary in this because they are the only ones who can bring sanity. Yeah. They have a responsibility. If Senate fails, the judiciary has a responsibility. And having a responsibility does not mean they will save Gachagua. I'm not even saying Senate must save Gachagua. I'm not even saying judiciary must save. That is a small matter. The bigger issues and the bigger questions must be addressed by Senate, by Parliament, and by the judiciary. There are times when you let something pass. You can let Gachagua be impeached and removed from office. But immediately become proactive at the level of legislation. In terms of the constitution amendment, what have you, to address this mischief. Because it's a mischief. It's a serious danger. At the same time, the courts, the Supreme Court, can now move in to add to that process of ensuring that we do not find ourselves in such a dangerous situations.
Our case presented is public participation. They're saying, look, Gachagua should have first appeared before Parliament, National Assembly that is, make his defense before people decide whether or not he's supposed to be impeached. Is this a strong case from your side? Why bring the case to the people if the man hasn't defended himself yet?
I don't think that has very much merit. First of all, there is nowhere public participation is required in this process. It's just abundance of caution. But you know, that also speaks to what I've been saying. Nobody expected Parliament to toy around with the idea of removing a president through impeachment. I don't know whether you are seeing.
And then the second point, prove beyond reasonable doubt that he violated the Constitution.
You don't need to prove beyond reasonable doubt because it's not criminal.
Okay.
You see, civil case is on the balance of probability. Criminal is beyond reasonable doubt. Hii iko katikati hapa. The charges against Gachagua are frivolous. They're actually childish. But that's not reason enough for somebody not to be impeached. You can impeach somebody on any grounds, however useless. That because it's a political process. But because the people of Kenya are taking a keen interest in this, then surely before you bring an impeachment motion, why can't you have strong grounds? I don't know. Do you distinguish?
Yeah, I'm distinguishing.
That is an impeachment where even flimsy grounds, cheap, childish grounds are enough to impeach somebody. But because this is something attracting the attention of Kenyans and the world indeed, Parliament should not lower the standards that much.
So do you think...
They should bring very serious charges if they have them.
Maybe I should ask, is there hope in the future? Because we are talking about Parliament that is going to be there for the next 3 years.
Yes.
Or is the hope, should we say that hope is with the people to understand the gravity?
Yes, it's the people. It is the people who have the ultimate power to make a decision. Because this process is snatching the power of creating the presidency from the people and giving it to Parliament, which is an institution that has always proved to be a very discredited institution.
All right.
An institution Kenyans have no faith in. In as much as they're the ones who put those people there. But they have no faith in the National Assembly and to some extent, naturally, generally the Parliament. So when you take the power to delegate and elect a president and his deputy, take from the people and take it now to Parliament, a discredited Parliament, you have a very dangerous thing. So the people will have to ask questions. The people will have to seek answers. And the people will have to take action.
Maybe lastly, most Kenyans believe the president has Parliament in his hands.
Yes.
What is his place in this conversation? Because he's the only one for now who can save Gachagua, avoid all these things. The judiciary come later and interpret some of these things for us.
Yes.
What is his place in this conversation about legality, politics, and how much power he holds?
It is just that the president doesn't seem to be adequately advised or informed, and that doesn't mean anybody should do it. You inform yourself.
Yeah.
The circumstances should inform what you do, because it's a gamble. You don't know what the country will look like after this. I can tell you with certainty what is driving the president. I know with certainty.
What is it?
There are two things. And some very senior man from those circles engaged me yesterday. If he's watching, he will know. Yeah. And it summarizes that Gachagua was going to be uncontrollable. And I don't want to say the things the man told me he was going to do. So what informs the president's move and confidence and determination is he looks back in 2017, 2022, and he sees that if Uhuru had impeached him, he would not have become president. That is informing his action and thinking. He can now see very clearly it is Uhuru's inaction. Put it in a very simple language, Uhuru sparing him is what made him president. If Uhuru had
clipped him,
impeached him, he would not have become president. And therefore, that is what is driving his thinking. That if I don't deal with this Gachagua man decisively, now he will be president in 2027. What else? What the president has done is to get the entire leadership, political leadership in the country. And he began that from day one. The way when he was taking these other political parties and bringing them on board, people don't know what he was doing. And finally, when he got Raila, he has the entire leadership of the country, elected and the political leadership. In the Mount Kenya region, for example, where the ground is anti-Ruto so badly today, he has almost every one of the elected leaders. So the president is confident in the knowledge that the people who make noise, who gave Kenyatta hard time, were not Raia. It was political leaders, activists, civil society, church leaders. The people who gave Moi a problem were not Raia. Raia came in the last moment during Sabasaba and the rest.
Yeah.
It was the leaders, kina Raila, kina Jaramogi, kina Manyora, kina Orengo, all those people. Those are the people who gave problem. Now that category of people, he has them. I don't want to say he has put them in his pocket, but he has them.
Yeah.
So that gives him the confidence. And I don't want to say what else he may think of doing.
Maybe our next conversation is you clip Gachagua, then what?
Correct.
Thanks for tuning into this conversation. My name is Jedel Kibril. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.